Hi, it's Sally Steele. Welcome to another episode of Sally Steele Rock Show. When I started my magazine, Vegas Rocks Magazine, and later my Vegas Rocks Magazine Music Awards, my purpose was to bring great awareness to musical artists that hadn't quite gotten the credit they deserved. And I feel that the band Angel is one of those musical artists. So here's my interview with founding members Punky Meadows and Frank Dimino of Angel. I hope you enjoy the interview. Hey, it's Sally Steele, and we're here for the Sally Steele Rock Show with Angel. We got Punky Meadows. How you doing?
Hi, Sally. How you doing, hon?
And we've got Frank Dimino.
Hello. Hi, Sally.
It's so nice to see you guys. I've been waiting for you guys to come back to Vamp'd, and I'm so excited that you're back here. Now, I'm going to go a little through the history and everything of the band, and hopefully we're not going to, the music's not going to come on too loud. So, Punky, first of all, thank you for coming to my award show 2016.
Our pleasure, for sure, without a doubt.
The award.
You know, it really bugged me because that was my idea. I set it up with Peter Kalish. I said, I want the whole band to be reunited. Right. And then Eddie Trunk comes in and does the interview and makes it look like he like blindsided me, like, hey, I was the one that did all that.
That's right, I know. We had a good time, too. It was awesome. It was fun.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Angel!
It looks like I'm the only guy wearing white tonight, but hey, I'm an Angel, right? I say that. Anyway, to all you Angel fans out there, you guys are awesome. Love you so much.
I want to thank Sally Steele, Vegas Rocks Magazine, for this award. Thank you very much, Sally.
That was actually my first coming out, I think, before I had just finished my solo album, so I was happy to do that. It was great, a lot of fun. It's awesome. Got to do it again.
Yeah, well, I will have you back. Yeah, that looks as good as you guys in white. I have to have you back.
And we have another album coming out, too. We released Risen. It was in 2019, which was great. You know, it did really well. And then we have a new album coming out now called Once Upon a Time. So we got about 4 months. So we're cooking right along.
Well, great. Now, I'm going to come back and talk a little bit about the history. Now, I understand the story. Gene Simmons found you guys in a club, and what did he say?
Gene came down to see us when we played at Bogey's. Gordon Fletcher was a writer for Circus Magazine and Rolling Stone, and Kiss were playing in town. And Gordon was a big fan of us. We were just starting out. We were just writing, just beginning to write, and we had a great show at Bogey's. And Gordon said, I got to start bringing some people down that are playing Largo at that time. So he ended up bringing a band down, and it ended up being Kiss. So Kiss watched the whole show. The guys came down. We talked after the show, and then Gene wanted us to sign with a coin at that time. But we had just signed maybe about a week before that with David Joseph. So
Let me imitate him. Hello, guys. I want to sign to my record label.
And that led to us going. David brought us out to L.A. looking for a label. And that led us to go to Casablanca because of knowing the guys in Kiss. And actually, when we met Neil, we loved Neil. So that's how that all began. But originally,
story with that too. When we were in our management office in L.A. and we were looking for a deal, right? And so our David Joseph, our manager, said, well, let's try Casablanca. They're a new label, you know, and they're small. They'll put more into you guys, you know. So David calls Neil Bogart, and Dave says, hey, I got this band called Angel, and he said they like to come and see you play, you know, and they're a really good band. And he said, as a matter of fact, Kiss saw them, Gene saw them, thought they were great, right? So Neil Bogart said, do me a favor, call me back in about 10 minutes. I'm going to call Gene, right? Mm-hmm. So he said, and Kiss are playing in Anaheim in a couple of weeks. I'll have Angel open up so I can see the band, right? And so he said, okay. So he hangs up and he calls Gene, and Gene says to him, so he calls David back about 10 minutes later. He goes, listen, I'll cite the band sight unseen because Gene Simmons said, Angel will never open for Kiss. Because they were afraid of us because we were so great. In fact, when Kiss came down to see us at Bogey's, I did this move with my guitar like this, right? And so Gene first saw it, and he goes, hey, he goes, Punky, classic. So then we saw Kiss at Anaheim playing, and Ace Frehley took my move. He did that, right? So we go backstage. So we go backstage, right, and he says, "Hey man, I took your mood. Hope you don't mind." I said, "No, that's cool, brother."
Well, you never have any choice. People come to me like, "I took your saying there." It's like, but it's flattery. Flattery's
Yeah, no, it was cool.
And Ace is a good guy, man. He's yeah.
Sound like them all. Yeah, they're all great guys. Yeah.
And I think the fact that when Gene said that we'll never open for them, I think it was a lot of that had to do with the fact that they knew the band, and when Neil heard that, I mean, it was more like, yeah, I mean, I think I don't have to see these guys. If Gene and Paul think these guys are good, I mean, they're good, definitely good enough to sign. So
why didn't by signing you? Why didn't he want you to open for him?
I think it was just a matter of
I think because we were, we were like, I don't want to say a threat because nobody can threaten Kiss because they're great, but we were that kind of thing. We would come. If we didn't have any effects, we're still in effect just walking on stage. And we were kind of in their ballpark doing that kind of thing. And everybody else they were playing with, wearing jeans and T-shirts and stuff on stage. We came along, and we pretty much with Kiss, Aerosmith, Queen, and us started the whole glam movement. We really did.
I remember.
Before that, it was Allman Brothers and that kind of. Well, of course, David Bowie came along, of course, before that. But it was Queen, Aerosmith, Kiss. So we started that whole glam thing, really.
I know. I remember. I don't want to date myself, but when I was very, very little, I remember looking at your album. And it's like, they're all in white. Oh, I love it. Oh, they're so handsome, And then I went and listened to Queen. So,
I love Queen. Yeah, they're great.
Well, tell me the in your whole career. Now, some people say you didn't commercially make it, but you were like a cult following. How do you feel with that label?
Well, I think the problem was that we didn't have MTV. I think if we would have had MTV, it would have been a different story. We broke up just when MTV.
I think we've made our legacy as well. I mean, I think look, we did 5 studio albums, a double live album. We toured a lot all over the world. I'm pretty happy with what we did, and as far as getting to a certain point, yeah, it would have been great. It always is. But as far as solidifying our legacy, I think we've done a pretty good job of that. So I'm happy with that.
Now you guys are back. Everybody's back. Now I don't see Greg Giuffrio with you guys. I guess he's too rich to go.
I just talked to Greg. Greg is doing fine. He's working on a new solo album as well. So he may show up here tonight. I don't know.
He's too rich to go on tour.
Yeah, I don't think Greg wants to go out on tour anymore. But Punky and I still love doing it, and that's why we're doing it. So
you're going to the Whiskey tomorrow night.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, now how's it going? Now is this your first show back on tour or?
Well,
we just played New Jersey a couple of weeks ago.
Okay.
We've done a lot of shows actually, but after the we were allowed to go back out again, but like everybody else, we were out for 2 years just about. But we've been doing a lot of shows, and we're going to the UK in August, UK, Belgium, Netherlands, and Scotland. So.
So you have a big following still all over the world.
Right, yeah. Well, like Frank says, we have a lot of fans, a lot of Fierce fans. When we were out in Japan at that time, Kiss, Aerosmith, Queen, and Cheap Trick and us, we were the biggest fans. It was like Beatlemania over there. It was crazy. It was nuts. So we have a lot of fans. I didn't realize that until after Facebook came out because I had quit the business, right? And then, I didn't know what was going on with Angel. Then I saw all these group pages about Angel, and everybody loved us, and they would post all these pictures. Wow, that's really cool. So, we still have a good following and stuff.
You guys were kind of more of an East Coast thing. You missed a decade of decadence out in the 80s in LA. Isn't that true?
Yeah.
70s band, really. I mean, that's really where we made our roots. I mean, we toured with Rush, Ted Nugent, Bad Company. So
the Aerosmith too.
So we were really a 70s band. By the time it got to 80s, we were kind of disintegrating at that time and finding different outlets and stuff. So and we were an East Coast band because that's where we're all from and started. But really, we established ourselves on the West Coast, living out there and recording out there. So, but
I guess I'm a bit of a snob. But when I was growing up, I didn't like the West Coast bands as a kid. I liked the East Coast. I liked the English bands in the East Coast. The West Coast band like Grateful Dead and all that. I didn't like those bands. I liked like the Rascals.
We were playing though in the '70s. You're talking '60s stuff. You're right.
I'm saying, but I was never a big West Coast fan. And actually, when we came out to the West Coast, I don't think there was any bands that I liked even then when we first came out. Who was playing who's in the West Coast when we first came out there?
There weren't that many bands out there.
Babies just came out, and that was cool. I dug them, and Cheap Trick.
They're not West Coast, they were Midwest.
And then when Van Halen came out, then that kind of started a whole different scene with the music scene out on the West Coast.
And that was clearly like starting the '80s too, because we used to go see Van Halen at the Whiskey all the time. Yeah, they were good friends of ours back then as well. So yeah.
What would you like your fans or people that have never heard your music? What would you like them to know most about you and the band?
Well, that we love our fans for one thing, but that we love playing. We'll always be playing, and the music we're doing today. A lot of people say when they hear our new album, they say most of these guys that come back, they're like a shadow of themselves. They're just kind of going through the motions. They say, "You guys sound like you're still 22," and when we're on stage, we act like we're 22 on stage, and you can't tell the difference. People say, "When I see those guys, it's like I went back to 1975 again," and we love recording, and we have a new album coming out that's really going to be great. It's deeper than the last album, but still great. And we just love playing and performing for our fans. And we're the real deal. We mean it. We're not. This isn't something we just do as a day job. You know what I mean? Like some people, who cut their hair because it's.
All the energy is still there that we had when back when we started, and I think we've got now a great bunch of guys that fulfill what we needed. Because with the other guys not really wanting to come out again, the new guys, the new band, they're great. I mean, they fulfill everything that we need to do new albums, shows, and stuff. So I think both Punky and I feel really good about the way the band sounds, the way the band performs, and also the recording, the new album. Both new albums, the last album and this new album, they're all really cutting edge stuff. So I think we're really happy with what we're doing.
Singers nowadays can't do what Frank's still doing. You heard them all. You've heard them all. I don't want to mention names, but all of them cannot sing, but Frank can still do it. So that's the proof in the pudding right there. And we also want to give props to Danny Aniello, the new guy, because he kind of came forward and helped us all this together for us too. And he's been a big help. He's a real talented guy too. We all write songs together. And, so he's done a lot for us too. So we have to give him his props too. We love that guy. He's great. So we love all the guys in the band. They're all great guys. They're all great players. So that's cool. We dig it.
Well, I saw you guys signing a lot of autographs. You still got a following out there. A lot of long lines there for your fans and everything.
It's always fun when they come in, when the fans come in and start talking to us. It's always fun because you're reliving stuff, and they're talking about a lot of them had seen us when we were in the 70s, and now and some of them that come out have never seen us before, and to see us now is like a big thrill for them. So I mean, there's always some great stories to hear when they come to see us.
And also, they travel to see us. There was a guy that wrote a review about us playing. He goes, "Angel fans are like the Grateful Dead fans. They fly from all," and they do. Like we just met some people here that came from Arizona. They come down and see us. They come from all over the places to see us. So our fans are very loyal and very fierce. So we're happy for that. We dig that.
Great. Well, I'm excited for your show tonight. I'm going to be filming it. Yeah. My neighbor Frank. I call him. I text him at 3 o'clock in the morning. Hey, can I do an interview tomorrow, you guys? Just a last minute thing. I appreciate last minute. And darling, it's good to see you again. Make sure you wear those shoes to my award show next time.
I will definitely wear these shoes for sure, just for you. I'll even put your name on it.
Oh, okay.
Sally.
I love that. Okay. Well, thank you very much. I love you too, Frank. Sally Steele, the Sally Steele Rock Show. See you next time.
Bye.